Hey everybody, hope you're having a beautiful day. This is live. This is no holds barred. We're just we're trying to figure things out. This is game development at its finest. Um, uh, we are on week number 2, our second build, and I'm chatting with my crew. Here we go. We're doing this better for worse. For better for worse, we're live. Let me get a. I'm gonna share this with my team on Discord, so they can see. We have a lot of updates to talk about. One moment. Okay, so we are downloading the current build. Let me grab it here. See if we can get it going. So here's the question: Do we play the recent build? We're gonna, you know what? Right now, live before I even start talking, I'm going to see if we can't extract it, get it loaded, and then I want to talk about some of the art that we've made over the last week, kind of the progress in our first 2 weeks working on this game. And we're going to see what happens. We're just going to see what happens. We're going to wing it. Mazzer Jax, how are you doing? So UI is still borked. It doesn't update, but it actually is calculating everything properly in the back end. Nice, nice. So this is great. So big life lesson to anybody in game development. Stuff happens. Things go wrong. It's just the name of the game. And we're currently at that point. We're on week number 2, and we're having some build issues, which makes sense. Because we started the first week, last week when I did the playtest, we showed our latest build, and it was still very much a prototype. Our artists were just getting their wheels turning, and we have a lot of art coming into the game. But now it's all being funneled through our 2 engineers, and it's kind of like drinking from the fire hose. We have all our engineers just drinking from the fire hose, and things will break. So we're putting some things in place this week to help mitigate that. We're having a submission deadline before our Wednesday build so that our artists, effects artists, sound designers, they have to get things to our engineers before a certain time, so they're not throwing it over the fence and breaking the build, which also happens. What we could also do is have a cutoff time on Tuesday for the build, for the sprint review build, and then you can branch off and start putting things in like crazy in a second one, and that way we could use that secondary build for Wednesday if we wanted to. Classic Tin, how's it going? But everybody, we're going to be doing these weekly live streams of our build. For those that aren't aware, this is, we're making a brick breaker platformer in Unreal Engine. We've got a team of 9 now, I believe. We just brought on a sound designer or a sound engineer I said be a sound designer this week to help out with some of the sounds. We've got a lot of stuff coming in. All right, so here we go. Let's get chatting about it this week. I'll have a better list of all of our updates for the week. But one of the things I did want to show for progression's sake, let me see if I can find it here. I did want to show you where we started and kind of where we're at now. Just to do a little visual here for anyone hopping in who's not familiar with the project. We are Walternet Games. We're making our first debut game to be released at the end of the month. It's an 8-week project, which is crazy fast. Just to show you where we started. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Oh, I wish I was showing the sketch instead. The original 1-page document. I will just show this one. All right, so this was the original one-page document that we gave to the team. Just a simple layout. Basically, you're a little character, a little platformer character, runs back and forth on the screen. You can jump, and you knock a ball up and down. And when it hits the bricks, you score points. When it hits the blocks beneath you, it does damage and uncovers some hazards. So it's kind of putting a twist on the brick breaker genre, meaning that you're not only trying to attack the top, but the ball doesn't fall down below you. So the ball can be destroyed by the hazard as well. And the ball, if it hits you, can also hurt you. So this was the initial design that we started with this 8-week project. Now here's the fun part. I've got 9 creative people who are trying to add features like crazy. And so it's been a super fun process trying to rein the complexity down. But we've gone through a lot of iterations. We're going to show you some of those today as we try and get this weekly build going. Let me find it here again. So let's see, here's the latest Paddle Hero build. We're going to have to actually open it up in Unreal Engine. Hopefully I have the right version to open it up. Select Unreal version. Let me ask real quick. Jax, if you're in the chat, we've got our engineer in the chat. What version of Unreal are we using? Something I should have asked in there, 5.4. So while we're doing this, I'm going to start downloading 5.4. That is the version we'll be using for the duration of the project. So I need to grab I'll have to go to the Epic Game Launcher for that. And grab 5.4. This is going to be a longer stream than usual because I am not prepared. We are a little bit behind getting everything ready. I just grabbed several of our art images over the last week. Originally put the context of the game in order. I'm pretty excited for the progress we made, even though it's not totally shown in the build this week. All right, let's see if we can't get the Epic Games Launcher going. For y'all. This is great. So I can be downloading 5.4 while we look at all the art that we have up. If anyone have any questions, please pop in. Jack says, nope, just PC and Steam Deck in the pipeline for now. Oh yeah, someone was asking, will be on the Switch. That's like a long-term stretch goal. We are going to be just going crazy, just getting to the finish line with getting this done in just 8 weeks. It's actually it's an insane timeline. But eventually, yes, Switch is like a stretch goal for later on. Would make a great Steam Deck. That's part of the reason we're pushing to get it on the Steam Deck and the and PC, because ideally it'll be easier to port over to the Switch if it's already running well on the Steam Deck. All right. Here we go. Oh boy. No, unbelievable. Try another way. Got to verify. We've got to verify, everybody. And that's okay. We can verify. right, we're not afraid of a little bit of silence here. A little bit of silence as we stream. Not ideal, but it's where we're at right now. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna hide this real quick so you can see some of the artwork we have in the background. At least you have something pretty to look at. Okay, so we're gonna grab 5.4. 5.4. Does it matter 5.4.4 or does it matter? Unreal Engine. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll just grab 5.4.4 then. Gotta install that back. Interesting. Oh, there we go. Okay. And hopefully this won't take several hours. We'll see what happens. It's queued. Please wait. Let's see how long it's going to take. May take forever. It may take forever. 14 gigs. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about the game a little bit. All right, everybody. Maybe we'll get to the build. Hopefully we will. If not, we may do another stream later tonight. Showing that off. We're agile. We're doing. We're just cruising along. Anyway, so I showed you kind of like this is where we started a week ago, and we had like that basic build, which I'll show you. We could. Well, we'll just show it. So this was our general idea, and so last week we were going through a lot of character iteration. And so on Wednesday, I realized that we needed a little bit more definition in the design because we wanted the game to be modular. Actually, let's look at this. Here's what we wanted. We wanted the bricks to have 3 damage states, points awarded for destroying, destroy all to move on to the next level. So we had a basic rule set. Paddle deflects the ball. The player's destroyed by the ball and the hazards. Player controls, move left, move right, and of course jump. The ground, we had originally designed just 2 damage states before being destroyed by the ball. So the ball would hit the wood, it would look all like broken wood, and then it would fall through. Of course, we can change the health parameters as we go. Maybe that's not, maybe that's too strong. We want everything to be broken with 1 hit, which is probably how we'll start like the intro levels, just so it is painfully clear what to do. The wood would destroy with 1 hit, I guess. Apparently, hazard, the lava. Destroys player, destroys ball, or passes on attribute, and then the stone would be invulnerable, so anything would damage that. So we came up with that design, we did the prototype, everyone started working and realized that wasn't enough information. So at the beginning of last week, this was kind of the kickoff. I presented this at our sprint review, and it kind of ruffled a little bit of feathers, I think, but I presented this, and I'll show you. Trying to refine the design. This is my really long design document. But we had gotten a lot of cool artwork the week before. You can see there it had trains and other things on it. But we wanted to make that, figure out how that would work. The wood is 2 hits right now. That's how it was in Derek's build. That's great. Mazerjacks, we can keep that because we can always change the health. But this is kind of what we started with. We wanted to figure out how to merge the really cool art that Ellie and Amelia were making into our super blocky static modular game design. This is an image that Jack had made with our original little character here. And so I started making some rule sets that we would just have 3 block sizes: the standard block size, a half size, and a quarter size for all the breakables. So the idea is that the standard would be the regular jump height. The half block would allow for like these bridge pieces and something that's a little bit narrow, also the same footprint as the bricks that would be above you. And we also coined the terminology today. The bricks are the things you want to destroy up top. The blocks are everything else that the world is made of, right? And the quarter pieces would be like this little lamp or pieces of debris. These would be like the set dressing kind of pretty pieces. And those might break just when just when you pass through or jump on them. We don't know. But they will add some flavor and some juice to the world. I really love this train. So I was trying to figure out how that could fit in the world and make sense. And I'll tell you, I put it in this quarter piece, and I put it in as an example here where the train is really small. The design team absolutely hated this. They did not like the idea of our little character being a kaiju, like being that tall and big. They felt like it really limited their design. They wanted it to be the size of the train, which I don't think I would have gotten that response if I had used this standard block version of it. But yeah, it was funny. The kickback I got on that was pretty hilarious. Now keep in mind, all of this artwork needs to be, if it's going to be in the set, it needs to be 3D. So this is all going to be 3D objects. Anything that's playable in this playable space in 3D, anything in the background will be 2D, just to speed up the process. So I kind of done a breakdown of how this could work to give everyone an idea. And then we kind of got the idea based off of that we could have a city theme, a forest theme, and a cave theme. So we're going to do 10 levels total for our game. And so 3 of them will be city, 3 of them will be forest, and 3 of them will be cave. And that kind of gives a little bit different flavor and progression through it. So these are some ideas for like the hazard in the city could be like a green poison liquid. In the forest, it could be a blue river or stream. In the cave, it could be, red lava would make sense. But the hazards would be just reskinned for each one. In the city, you could have some tall buildings. In the forest, you could have tall trees. In the cave, you could have tall rock formations. We were trying to figure out how we could swap these out, have them all make sense with different visual cues in the level. So I presented that to the team on Wednesday, and everyone went kind of crazy with designs after that. So really quickly, we were still trying to figure out the character, and we had one more character redesign come through on right after Wednesday, and I'll show you that one was this one right here. So Ellie came up with this really cool game character, trying to merge a platformer character with the paddle kind of style and keep the robot theme, which I thought this was really cool, but started getting a little bit more complex and further. Originally, I wanted to stick to that original character here. The original robot. You can see one of Ellie's drawings here with the kind of that original robot design, because I thought it was kind of used that iconic design in a real simple shape that was readable, so you could read that character from distances. But the team wasn't liking it, and so I totally respect that, but things kept going more complicated, and then we realized as well for the animation, to animate the character running around with the arms and the legs and all that stuff, it got a lot more complicated for an 8-week project. So we had to adjust it even more. And I took the design to my friend who is an animator, his name's Nathan, and said, hey, do you want to help us out with some animations on this character? And he said, let me see it. And he took that initial character, which is this one that Animate Zach had done the modeling for, and he said, let me redesign it for you. And so he came up with this idea. Which I absolutely love. If you notice, a lot of these same features are here. The bowl shape underneath here is just kind of inverted, so it's facing the other way and then duplicated, right? So just really simplified that robot design. But his idea that it would kind of bounce back and forth like a spring, which really didn't work well for a smooth brick breaker game where we want that paddle to go left and right really smoothly. So one of our designers, Ryan, said, well, could we merge it with a BB-8? To which I spent the rest of the night kind of doing a modeling mock-up of what this character could look like with a ball as its movement to move it, and it would be a lot cleaner. And then I was kind of playing around with the size of the head as the paddle too. So I think this is something, if we got to power up, the head could increase in width. After that, I handed it off to Animate Zach, our amazing 3D modeler, and in a couple hours, he had this mocked up, which is awesome. Which he then did an AO pass for the baking, made some textures, and we came up with this for our game character, which is phenomenal. So we're moving along. We're back on track. We have a character now. So I am pretty darned excited about that. And now it's rigged. So we went from no character to we have a rigged character now, and Animate Zach is all ready to start on the animations. The build this week should have at least the static character in, and we're hoping to get some of our models and textures in. So pretty awesome. From that point onward as well, after I presented this, Zach started doing some design work on what that could look like. Ellie started working on and how she could block up those pieces. So, and how these unique assets could become platforms. So this is really cool. In the city, she was figuring out how we could use pipes as those one. Excuse me, sneezing. As those one-to-one block pieces. And by the way, if anyone has any questions during this, or if you find it interesting, let me know. More of this content will be on the Walternet channel. Later on, this will be cut up. But coming up with some city ideas. Here's some more of like the hazards and the kind of things you would see in the city. And then Zach threw some cave backgrounds and threw on some temporary textures to start to get the feel of what the cave could feel like with that original character too. And then threw in some of those art pieces to see what the city could look like. And then kind of some texture ideation to see what that could feel like. So we have some lava and some liquid, trying to just get a taste of what things could look like. So Zach just started running with the design, which is awesome. And I think I'm actually just going to start posting these progress images wholesale on our Instagram and our Twitter and our other social media pages if anyone wants to check out some of this, because I think it's beautiful, some of the stuff that's been done. Here's another quick mock-up of what the in 3D, what it could look like. So he started mocking up the blocks and placing some coins. And at that point, we thought, we need some coins. We don't know exactly what those coins will do, and that's okay. So if our engineers are listening, just add the coins, put a simple effect on them and a sound, and we'll start figuring out what that will feel like. But Zach was awesome enough to make a quick block up of what a level could look like, which I love this design. And then he started taking what I had originally designed and breaking it up into a really nice guide for our artists. So we have this nice brick guide to show us exactly how we should build our assets going on into the next week. Jack said they're already in the build. I added them today. Thank you so much, Jack. So you're awesome. So we have coins now. This is great. I'm excited to potentially play the build. We're 6.2 gigs into our 14 gig 4.4.4 installation. So we'll get there. We'll keep chatting. And so here's another breakdown to show how the pieces will work in game. Really low poly, but with beveled edges to make them a little bit more pleasing. So we have 5 shapes. We have a cube, slope, rounded corner, rectangle, and traditional rectangle. So awesome. I like the change in the shape for the bricks. So this is great. And then here they are with some color passes to show you what they could look like for the wood, the ground, the grass with the grass on top. So this is awesome. And then we started coming up with unique obstacles for the city, the cave, and the forest. So we're still trying to figure out a lot of this out. I like the blade from Super Meat Boy. We're very reminiscent for this cave. Some of the sections, my questions were how these would work for platformings, which these stalactites make sense that you would jump on top of them. But some of my feedback was like for these gems and stuff, try to make them with a flatter top or some kind of surface that would make sense for the player to platform on and walk on. And, you know, we do have the option if those break, they could produce some pickups or something cool along with it. Sorry, Mazer says 4.44 or 5.44. I believe it's 5.44. So sorry if I spoke there. It's 5.4. I'm not going to download 4.4. Yeah, here was that initial hero there. What else can I show you guys? We got a lot of stuff coming in. Okay, so here is we had a little animation test. Where is it? Zach was trying to figure out how to do the treads on the wheels, so he was doing a little animation test here to show how that could work, and we'll see if it'll play. So he was trying to decide, did it feel right if the wheels were just moving right in one motion, or if they moved kind of on the Z-axis as well, which I kind of like this one on the right. If anyone has any suggestions for that. Also, if anyone wants to pick out a good name for our character, we'd love to hear it. But this is kind of the animation for the wheels moving, which I dig the right side. I also like the shape on this wheel. I know it's not like a traditional tread, but being able to see through it, I think will add some depth to the character and be interesting. And it has kind of this polygon shape to it, kind of like we're using Unreal, but it's kind of the Unity, the Unity logo almost in there a little bit. So very cool. All right, so what else can I show y'all? So we had here is a cave concept image created by Amelia, which is awesome. Some of the texture designs Amelia came with, which honestly I thought these would be a little too busy, but once they were in engines, they didn't look too bad. So we'll have to see how they look. And here are some examples of those cave pieces as well. I like the bones. This feels like something I could jump up and platform on, and be really cool when it broke. So you'd have like some bone effects and stuff popping out. Animate Zach says, I just uploaded a jump animation test on Discord. Let's check it out. Let's grab it. Okay, I'm gonna look at it right now. We'll show it live. Effects and animation, here we go. So, do this. Download it. All right, we'll check it out. Let's throw this into our scene. We're gonna check out an early jump animation test. I haven't seen this yet. So here's our character jumping. We're so excited. Oop. Oh, that's cute. So this is going to be super interesting. So my first feedback, my guess, and we'll see how it is in game, but it's probably going to have to be about twice as fast. But this is awesome. So yeah, and we'll have to cut it so he jumps, and yeah, it comes down. We'll have to play with the speed on that, but we can speed that up in engine too. This is a great start though. Isn't that cool? I love the blinking. That's exactly what I wanted, was that like a little bit of character to it. So there, we've got the jumping animation. That's fantastic. Beautiful. All right. We're cruising along. I think I showed everything. We had some templates. Let's see. Here is a level mock-up from Ryan, who's going to be taking the lead on level design in the game. Kind of some crazy ambient going on in those coins right now. Almost blinding. But they've been playing around with levels that are extra wide. This would still hopefully fit in one screen. But the idea is we wouldn't move left to right at all on the screen. And for some reason, he's really fond of just going completely orthographic, so flattening out the pieces in their entirety, which I'm not crazy about. But we'll test it out. We'll see how it goes. Some more examples of the geometry painted in Subdesigner by Amelia. And here is that template from Zach. Lots of awesome stuff. And we are officially, we have 2 gigabytes left on our build to see if we can actually play the build. It's perspective still. So Jax, we want to keep it in perspective. I'm not a fan of the orthographic. Because honestly, we might as well just do the whole game in 2D at that point, and 3D is pointless. So yeah, we're gonna keep it 3D. We're gonna keep it in perspective. So. Mad 8 Warrior says, have you ever watched Family Guy? Is that a TV show? Is it still in syndication? Is that new? All right. So let's see. I think if you type in command Walternet Games, should show. Go follow us here if you can. We'll probably start doing future streams on Walternet Games channel, not on CheckPointProfessor. There we go. The future in game development streams like this will be happening at Walternet Games. Shameless plug for my own studio. All right, I think we're close. I think we're close, everybody. What do we got? Oh, we're installing. We're installing. Typically, I like to be prepared for my streams, but we're agile. We're going with what we got. We're doing what we can. So that is all the artwork. So like I said, we're funneling everything into the build right now, and we've hit a few snags. We did have some issues with the Niagara system, kind of horking our build and slowing things down. A lot of moving pieces coming in right now, so we will adjust for that. So on Wednesday, we won't have this issue, and we can do our weekly build playtest without any issues. So all right, let's see where we're at. We are installing. See how that goes. I'm excited. We may be able to play soon. We may be able to play our game. It's going to be amazing. Matt 8 Warrior said I made an image in Discord General. We'll have to check it out. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, we'll show it on my other stream. Show it on the Mario goodness. All right, everybody. If you're a fan of indie game development, make sure to like the stream. Make sure to like the stream, leave a comment. We need all the help we can get. Definitely follow us on Walternet Games. We are a scrappy, small indie studio, zero marketing budget, pretty much zero budget at all. Trying to publish a game on Steam Early Access by the end of October, which is only a few weeks away, which is absolutely bananas. We're just waiting for to install 5.4.4 on Unreal Engine so we can check out the latest build, get this going. We've got controller support in. I'm excited to see of all the assets, all the stuff I showed. I'm excited to see what we were able to get in this week and playable so we can start giving feedback. The idea is to have 10 levels that we can play through each week as a team to keep moving. We also just had our sound guy start. Our sound guy just started this week too, so we should have more updated sounds coming in. This is going to be awesome. Where are we at? It's 82% installed. The anticipation. How's the anticipation doing for you guys? Is it too much to take? I'm a huge believer in weekly builds. It's key. Even if you don't have any updates, you should still be playing the weekly build. So I was tempted to play last week's build because game development, you should always be playing your builds every week. We added another channel to our Discord that says I played the build this week, and it allows all of our developers, no matter who you are, to play the game, write down the things that you think are working well and what needs adjustment over the next week. Just so everybody's familiar, especially as you're putting in new assets in the game, so you're continually playing it as if you were the player. Thanks, Nightbot. Let's see. Crazy how Nightbot like pops into the rescue like that. All right. Installing 82%. In 82%? How do we go from 84% to 82%? Here we go, everybody. So you can see the magic going on. This is what we're waiting on today. And this is me not very prepared. This is my fault, by the way. I had actually, earlier this week, I had meant to message the team and say, hey, can you let me know exactly what engine number we're using so we can make sure everyone is sticking to that. Which maybe that's my fault, maybe it's not, but I should have been prepared more. Mazerjack says it's going backward, question mark. That doesn't make sense. Maybe 82% complete down to 0%? That's weird. That's weird, Jax. That's weird. That's weird. Hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me. 82% downloaded. It's going to happen. Look, here you can see one of the... Oh, this is one of the original Brick Breaker prototypes we had. And then a little template for my level design class. Mazerjack says, Unreal is being weird for all of us today. Why are you so weird, Unreal? They just had Unreal Fest, so I think everybody was... AFK on all the bug fixes and updates. That's what happened. But we'll chill. This will happen one way or another. 82%. It is not moving. It is not budging. Tempted to come back later. No, we're gonna push through. We're gonna push through. Let's while we're at it. This is funny. I'll show you some more stuff. This is our itch.io page. Pretty impressive, right? So in tandem with our Steamworks page, which we just got approved last week for our Steamworks page, our amazing assistant producer, Maddie, is in charge of Steam. And so she's going to be assigning tasks to our team, getting the Steam Deck, our Steam page ready, looking up all the requirements that Steam requires the team of to make sure that we're all set up on our Steam page. And the nice thing is, as we start to get images and promo information for the Steam page, we can then add it here on our itch.io page. And we want to have this itch.io page. We're going to make it available probably next week for anyone who wants to play the game and give us feedback, especially if you're a streamer. If you're a live streamer on Twitch or YouTube and you want a copy of our game to play and demo, we will gladly accept all the free marketing we can get. We definitely need it, especially as we go on with our Steam page being live, so we can get all the wish lists we can get. Let's see, where is 83%? We're moving back up, Jax. Slowly but surely. And I'm probably going to fall asleep before this thing completes. The funnest part of game development is hurry up and waiting. Actually, it's interesting. When I first started at Disney working on Toy Story 3, when we had to, every time we would add anything to our level, like things are completely different now in game development, but like essentially we used a version of blueprints. And if we ever wanted to change any of our blueprints and then play the game, we had to compile it first. We couldn't just make an adjustment and then play it like you can now. So it all got fixed as soon as we jumped into Cars 2. It was like amazing that we could just make a change and play it immediately. But whenever we would make a change or an adjustment, we had to compile it and wait about 10 minutes for the game to compile and then test what the changes we had made. It was a wicked slow process. And so we usually would double check our blueprints, make sure we have the adjustments in. And eventually we had some like debugging stuff like they have in blueprints now to mitigate that. But I tell you, game development is so much more accessible, so much easier, so much more free to do than it ever has before. All right, 83%. All right, here's what I think I'm going to do, everybody. Mazur Jack says it's still the same now for C++ and Unreal. So if you change anything in code, you have to wait 10 minutes. Is that how it works, Jax? For anybody watching, and even if you watch this after the stream, definitely go follow us at Walternet Games. But do you like these boring game dev live streams where we're in the process, where we're waiting on builds, we're waiting on things to update and download, and you're just chatting, and it's a place to come chat or ask questions and just look at things? And is that of interest to you? Because what I could do is start having more of these open mic nights on Walternet Games, especially the chance for the team to come show me stuff and chat with me. Yeah, you have to recompile the entire project. So Jax, that's what we used to have to do even in visual scripting. And so we would always have like a movie or something going, or you'd get up and walk down the hall and chat with a friend or something while your level was compiling. Super slow process, which interesting. It's amazing what we're able to pull off at during that time too, because it's so much like accessible now. It's so much easier now. Jack says that sounds like so much pain to do the live streams. Well, so we're trying to get the ball ribbon working correctly, and that's part of the reason our build broke today. And so it's something I've been wanting to learn more visual effects. So I'm tempted to hop in tonight on Walternet and do a live stream of just me trying to figure out how to make a ball trail ribbon animation work and function for my own curiosity. Jack says no compiling the visual scripting. So I might end up doing, amongst my copious amounts of time with my full-time job, family, and everything else, and trying to build an indie studio on top of that. That's the kind of thing I would love to do just for fun, try and figure that out. And if I could figure it out and then help our effects artist as well, so that we can speed up the project. So we have so much effects work to do, and so that probably will be something we may ask for extra help from the rest of the team as we get closer, because with a game like this where it's a simple mechanic and just a quick replayable game loop, the juice, the effects are so critical. And that's it with this new jump animation. We need to get that stuff, jump and player movements in just as quick as we can, because we want to fine tune those over the whole scope of the project, so that it's just feeling as awesome as we can. A lot of pain back in the day, but isn't that the same pain you're feeling right now, Jax? Every time you make a change, you have to compile the whole thing and wait. Or processors are probably a lot faster now. Maybe it doesn't take too long to compile like a small project like this, right? But I think we used to have to compile like the whole game. We couldn't just compile sections. It was crazy. So a lot of the times we would make little, we call them holodecks. So we would always have test levels, right? Where it was only our level, speed it up. Since we're using blueprints. Yeah, because you're just using blueprints as well. Hopefully you're learning a lot, Jax. Hopefully a lot of it's fun stuff for you. Much quicker. All right, here we go. So 84%. So tell you what, everybody, I'm sorry to do this. If you're interested in seeing what the game actually freaking looks like, head on over to Walternet Games. The second this is done installing, which could honestly take another hour, I'm going to hop in and do a playtest of it, so we won't have to do all the show and tell stuff. But we'll hop right into Walternet Games, and we'll do the live stream there. Jack says, oh yeah, Unreal, tell me why it refuses to build the project is so much fun. Jax, I hear you. My intro to level design class, just trying to do something super simple. My students will tweak something. I have no idea what they did, and it will just stop it'll stop building. It'll stop packaging. And you're an engineer. I'm not. And so I'm just like, start over again. And they don't like it. But yeah, that's my answer. Start from scratch. I don't know. I can't figure out the debug comments. I have no clue. So that's why we have engineers, because they are smarter and better than everybody else in almost every way. And that's why you can't have a team. You can't, if you go into indie game development, anyone who's listening, you can't do it without an engineer. I mean, you can, but you can't. You shouldn't. They do everything. Jack says, hopefully I can dig through the log and figure it out, because I don't want to entertain the alternative. Oh, snap. No, you'll figure it out. I have faith in you. Okay, we're 85% there. This has taken way too long. We're going to end the stream now, and I'll hop into WalterNet Games, and we'll play the build. Everyone go follow, subscribe over on WalterNet Games. Check out all the good stuff we have going on, and we'll see you in a few minutes.